even with most teams, you have a more support player who you can pressure. Like, you can try and like find their weakness or find that person. I guess you try and pressure Carrigan, but even that, that seems like a tough thing to do. So, yeah, it's more, I guess we go into this saying ATK are the ones with something to prove, and mousesports are the one with something to lose.
Well, the only thing that's being lost right now is the heads of the mousesports players, as Woxic and Frozen both get eliminated fairly quickly into this round as we kick this best of one off here over on Nuke. Chris J has been domed as well. This hasn't gone very well at all for mousesports. If they were keen for a pistol round, it's not gone the way they would have wanted. And here comes big man Motum to shut it down at the end there as he will eliminate Rops. And ATK do walk away with a pistol.
Yeah, that's a pretty damn good start, to say the least. Like,
it's the dream.
Yeah, them getting off to like the best of starts, I think, is going to be important for them. As we've said before, I think they're quite a confidence-based team. I still think that individually they're sound. Like we've seen like most of the players within this roster actually pop off. I think Sonic's going to play a pretty big part as well. Like we saw him in Envy like attempting to be the AWP. I didn't really like it. Like I think that he's much better off like playing that rifle role and being put into a team where it fits him, and that's actually going to be here now. Also, during Pro League, he was relatively new to the roster, so he's had a bit of time to actually get settled, and I think we saw that in the second stage. They definitely looked a bit better than when they initially played, so there are positives, no doubt, but I don't think anybody sits here and goes like, yeah, versus mousesports, I expect them to win. Quick push outside, a quick take, in fact, as the T's have fully invested into this one. Rop saving a little bit of extra cash. They've gone for the deco as they attempt to finish off these remaining CT players. Lots of rifles purchased as well, maybe expecting a buy-in to come in the next round. Instead, with a bomb going down, well, they could even go for a buy-in to the next round. It depends how much damage they do, I'm sure. They're already starting to get whittled away. Frozen and Chris J, the only ones remaining. I don't think there's going to be anything they can do here.
Yeah, probably not. There's a little bit of the door dance coming through, as they are going to do that deadly dance. It doesn't work out too well, though. Chris J will fall. That's going to be the round picked up as ATK get the bomb defused. 2 rounds now, only 1 casualty. It's not too bad. It's gone pretty well.
Come on. 2-0. As I said, the bomb did go down.
So at least they got cash for it, and it wasn't any of the deco as well, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, I wonder. So they're just going to go for more of the same. I don't mind that at all. Of course, in the next round, they get a slightly bigger loss bonus.
Oh, we might actually just see them try and go for maybe a secret take here. They've got a lot of smokes. They could opt to try and go for the outside play if they want to. OC's there. He does have an AUG. So it looks like it will be the secret play as they get the smokes across.
Well, this is kind of the if at first you don't succeed. This is identical. This is literally exactly the same. Like, you've got Rops just waiting, trying to hold anyone off. Sonic this time gets there a little bit earlier, and that's a nice little snap. In fact, he even gets his 3rd kill. Very clean coming out from ATK. Sure, they lose 1 on the rotation, but that's not a problem. And yeah, 3-0. Buy can come up. I was interested to see that originally Rops was saving money. Like, we saw him have 1250 when they bought up in that second round. So I was like, oh, we're getting an AWP. Then they get the bomb down, and they don't save for an AWP. So clearly something changed. Maybe an idea that's been thrown in by Carrigan. Okay, we're going to do something a little bit quicker. And hey, if you manage to get down in secret 3 times, or 2 times already, do you go for a 3rd with guns?
I mean, you can imagine, probably so at this point. It's worked out quite well for them. The outside take definitely hasn't been thwarted too much. And now, though, much more of a slower default coming through. Just going to be holding as they sit towards radio with the push, see if there's going to be any cheeky stuff coming through from ATK. Nothing really too outrageous, though, Tom. Playing it very standard. Being the first rifle round, they probably do just want to test the waters and see what is coming out.
Already. Some early damage done, but not really anything to write home about. Lots of utility being expended by the T's, and they're somewhat running out as they now go running into the site. Woxic, they get an entry, and there are trades coming back, but it's left all onto Rops, and I like that position from Sonic. Actually gets knifed in the face, but he will survive, and ATK up to a 4-0 start. I think maybe mousesports starting to find that this isn't going to be as easy as they thought. I think I'm starting to learn that as well.
It's a learning curve for all of us.
Yeah, but maybe there'll be a few people who like saw ATK as like a sleeper team going into this tournament, or someone who could do a bit of damage. But I think in reality, if you see them come up against mousesports in a best of one, you have to be a little bit mental to think that they're going to win. But who knows? That's a strong start, decent amount of money made early on. I think if you're ever going to be able to upset a team like mousesports, this is the way you got to do it.
It would be mousesports as well. Like, they're one of those teams, right? Like, if you expected another team to come into it and just feed off the hype and be screaming and just absolutely giving it at every opportunity, mousesports would always be the opponent on the other side. For some reason, historically, they do seem to be the squad that has to deal with that. Let's see if ATA can carry on with the drilling right now, Tom. If they can keep it up.
Yeah, most of the time they've only been dealing with pistols so far. That was the first buy round up. And it is very easy to get a little bit stuck in the mud when it comes to that T side of Nuke. But at the same time, I expect a lot from them.
Sonic. Oh, over towards the ramp, gets the opening frag, drops down. It's a risky position to be playing from so aggressively, but he does a good job of it. 2 frags found, as both of those heads will be added above his mantelpiece now. Rops enters in, back down towards the B site, supported by Woxic. It's a 4 versus 2. Modem's there. He's basically going to be the first response. The smokes go up as he looks over towards the windows. He has a bit of backup as well as JT's going to rotate over. Bomb is down. But can they mount a successful retake here? Only one of the 2 mousesports boys are armed.
Woxic with the Deagles, definitely not the worst weapon to have, but I fear that they're just so outnumbered, so outgunned that there shouldn't be anything that their opposition can do here already. 1 more 4, it's left on to Rups, and he is quickly dismantled as well. Good retake coming in. They take their time, they don't rush things, and hey, the basis from ATK at the moment is looking very good.
This is clean. If they can maintain this, we actually could have a very competitive game on our hands here. For mousesports, it's just a matter of time before they find their footing and get into it, though. At some point, they're going to snap. It's only going to take, you know, a couple more rounds. They're one of these teams that if you keep putting more pressure on them, eventually they do just bite back.
Well, yeah, at the moment, they've got 2 players to not even get on the server. Frozen and Chris J, both with 0 kills, so something has to change. You pray, but saying that for a while, and Modem as well is just going to go running out, take an aggressive duel versus Rops and win it with ease. This is starting to get worrying. Another kill comes in as well as the aggression from Sonic eventually gets punished, but they're actually playing just almost this pug style. Get in the face, fight versus your opposition, and win every single duel. This is insane. It's currently... well, it's 6-0. Surely there's no way. Yeah, Frozen's still not going to be able to get onto the board.
This is madness.
I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure whether I should be putting this down to mousesports not performing, or should I be putting this down to ATK playing really well. I think the best idea is that it's a little bit of a mix of both, and also that I think mousesports are just surprised. Like, ATK, Sonic at least, just went pushing all the way through the ramp and went all the way up and got that opening kill. He gets traded in the end, but that's got to be something that's just like, wait, what? What's going on? And the same on outside for Modem as well. It's been so aggressive.
It's absolutely bizarre. 6 rounds up already for ATK. Looking so fierce into these rounds. mousesports, not a peep. There's nothing. They need to start bringing the ruckus. They need to really start to wake up a little bit here. And Woxic might be the man to do just that for them. He finds the opening pick, gets some outside control established for that T side. But JT is going to be hoping to try and punish and trade that back. Can't find Frozen through the smoke as he spams his way across, but will drop down through the vent and head on over to try and defend in case anyone is going to backdoor their way through Secret. Sonic as well, expecting potentially a ramp bombardment to come his way as we get into the last minute of the round. He does hear the shots whizzing by. Everyone peeling back. They're convinced that there should probably be a play towards the B bomb site. In reality, it looks like they're backing up. They're going to go through Squeaky and go for an A take, Tom.
40 seconds left. Floppy, good position, but Woxic does get the open, and then AWP finally comes into play. And the difference is, well, it's polar opposites. 3 kills for Woxic. Sonic, he can opt to just go for damage here. He doesn't need to just save. Like, sure, an SG's nice. He's been doing very well with it. 8 and 2 at the moment, 111 ADR. The South African star doing more than what we've expected, but he's just going to fall back. mousesports get their victory. Important thing as well is that they should be able to keep things relatively clean, almost. Gets a spot into Chris J, but not going to be coming. I don't really mind him just keeping this weapon in it and make sure that their economy stays very strong, and he gets a gun that he's been performing fantastically well with. And it's taken some time, but mousesports are finally onto the board. The question is now, are they going to build off it? And Frozen actually does manage to take out that remaining weapon. It's not, like I said, it's not going to be the biggest of deals. There's 2 players over $10,000 when the buy actually comes into play, but even still, 6-1.
It was fine being able to reinvest, but they have lost that Krieg, and that could have been a little bit of an edge. He's been doing a good job of actually holding down ramp with it. mousesports finally get around entirely off the back of Woxic, though. He was giving us basically a tech demo of how to be a superstar AWPer into that round. Can he maintain this and carry on going forward, though? They once again try and set their gaze towards outside control early. A little bit more aggressive as they're testing the waters towards Radio, though. Spamming out, seeing if they can bait anyone towards Hut, as they look for an early round pick here on the T side. And they chucked in's going to do a little bit of damage to Chris J, but it's not too bad.
And it does seem like the T's of mousesports are starting to realize that, okay, if we give Woxic a little bit more space to potentially get the opener, we can work around that. Because at least in the initial rounds, they were trying to group up, and I think they got caught quite a few times by ATK. Modem actually going to go for a late push. He heard the footsteps, a little bit of a gap in the smoke, and may just try and follow in as the extra member. But Carrigan's smart. Turns back around, makes sure that, although the information's gone the other way, I don't know where they're going. Sonic, alongside OC, going to be combining, and unfortunately, Rops actually went in first with the bomb, so they have to fight this now. They have to get rid of Sonic. They need to kill him off, and that's exactly what Chris J will do, but they don't expect Floppy to come in from behind. 2 kills back once again. The T's in a horrible position. Carrigan now going to have to fight back up from the ramp. He gets 1, can't finish the second, and it's into the 1 versus 1. Frozen, burning down. JT just behind the boxes, and he misses the initial shot. He gives a charge, but he wins it anyway. ATK, 7-1 up. They've been very aggressive with their plays. They've been dynamic with their movements around the map, and wow, that flank from Floppy paid off magnificently.
Such an important clutch coming out as well from JT in the final moments of the round, saving them and keeping this scoreline growing ever more. So they now get 7 rounds on the board on their CT side. If they can maintain this, carry on at this pace, they're going to have such a big scoreline going through into their T half. They need to take as many rounds as possible here. So they're looking very good right now. Even better use of the HE. This time, it does way more damage, nearly single-handedly killing them. As they push out towards the site, Floppy will get a double kill with the M4. So much damage done onto Frozen. And Morton will eventually be able to convert that back into a frag as well. As they fall down into a 2v2, mere seconds into the round. It's been rapid, Tom. They've set their gaze at another bomb site. They don't fancy A anymore. It's all about B.
Bomb has been planted.
And this is another tough retake for the CT side. They do have some utility onto OC, but the problem is you don't really want a lot of your nades to be on your AWPer. You can at least smoke off the window, but after that point, the swap back to the AWP, just it's not really a good idea to be running into these positions. But he's able to clear some of the closer angles. It does allow Sonic to run forward, but there's a slight gap in the smoke, and I don't even think OC had any idea, even after the kill, that he was there. A second round onto the board. And do you know what the crazy thing is about this?
What, Tom?
Look at the money for the CT side. That is kind of crazy, isn't it? Sure, the last round comes down to a 1 versus 1 and the round before they lost. But that's all it took to destroy ATK's economy. And now this is the footing back for mousesports to get back into the round, or back into the map, I should say. A lot of it's come off the back of, what, Woxic in that 1 round and Rops in the previous, but for something that's been so ridiculously one-sided in the form of ATK, it looks like mousesports are about to kick it into gear.
It's not that surprising, though. Like, the rounds they have won, as you just said, are entirely based off individual performance. But just looking at the scoreboard there, you can see no one's really had that much even of a peep. They've been so quiet before those rounds. That's why it had such a big impact. You said it in the pregame, like mono, man to man. Individually, everyone at mousesports towers above when it comes down to their individual skill. We just need to see that shine through. And into this round, ATK with no cash, it should just be a shooting range, especially for Frozen. He's up high. Let's see what he's going to be doing from this frightening height.
I think the other thing as well is that when mousesports finally fell into more of a default, ATK, well, this will be the real test of how good or how much depth they actually have, is how they now adjust. Because early on, as we said, there was a lot of map control being attempted by mousesports, but they didn't really manage to get much of it because they lost 1v1s. Now they've stopped giving those 1v1s early in the round. They've been passive, they've been patient and waiting. And that's where things have gone a little bit wrong. They've also got the AWP interplay onto Woxic, which, if pick play is anything to go by, that's where you're going to win. This is also a bit of a problem because they're slightly behind. I do like the fact that, although the AWP's been dropped to the deck, we're only really seeing Carrigan actually take the risk here. Rop's actually, as well, just around him going to be fighting. So they clean up quite nicely, and then that could have gone badly wrong. And now the CT side do actually have the money available to them. They're even going to drop that AWP over to OC, which I think is going to help them quite a lot. But we don't see that much utility. Well, there's enough, but it's not ideal. See, you can see it. Utility level is good, not great. Even got the overlays. That's the one thing I always like about these sort of streams, like, especially with ESL. They have these little things on the overlay, which is like, it helps my point.
Backs you up, mate.
It backs me up.
That's what you need. Backstreet Boys. You want it that way.
Always.
Chris J. Already down to 25 HP. A matter of seconds into the round, as he's been slapped about a bit. ATK, they've normally been very effective with these HEs as well through Hut into the early round. They've done so much damage with it, and it's been a bit of a focal point for them. There's a follow-up as well, as Sonic's going to dash one out over by ramp. Just chunks the HP of Woxic, leaving him on 60. He does fire off a warning shot, but it isn't going to connect. And they're still so grouped up. They're back to this passive play. The default is they're going to hold in radio, hold around, waiting to see if there is going to be any shenanigans coming through from ATK. And then potentially develop this towards outside as they do cast out those smokes. They've been pretty good at finding success. Will it happen again? Motum, he's already waiting down secret, and Frozen could be walking right into his awaiting arms.
A little bit close. Nice spray down from Sonic, though. He's going to get them a double opener, and Rops almost falls as well. OC just opting to play passive positions, and Woxic has to be careful. They expect this flank. Does he expect the second one? I think he has. They may even go back and try and rotate, but that's going to be the bomb drop. There's only 20 seconds left on the clock for them to fight this if JC can just win his duels, but he loses it. Motum coming in from behind. This is all going to come down to time. He's going to hear the footsteps. If he can drop the bomb, he wins the round, but they go into that passive position. He needs to kill the man from above, and although it's very close for ATK, there's a few crucial battles there. Like that shot from Rops right near the end, that's the sort of thing that like wins you rounds. That's the sort of things that change everything. Because if Floppy kills him, the bomb's now dropped where it's going to be very difficult for them to retrieve it.
Yeah. Round 12, 7-4. mousesports, they definitely look like they've perked up a whole lot more now. Obviously, ATK, they don't have cash either. So ideally, there should be a 7-5 split. ATK needed more rounds in this CT half as well. It was looking so glorious for them, but the more it slows down, the more worrying it gets as this game develops on. Chris J, he's already out. Not looking timid at all. Very bold stuff as he comes out swinging through Squeaky. Rops will be able to clean up with the mistakes that were made as he gets a double kill, and that's Carrigan for the final 2 headshots into that round. So, as you'd expect, very quick one there up against the pistol buy.
Yeah, and this is where things start to basically return to normality a little bit. Like 5 rounds, like it's not ideal, but it's enough.
Yeah.
I don't think mousesports are now going to be feeling the pressure anywhere near as they were, what was it, 7-1? So 4 rounds in a row. A lot of that comes off the back of some of the economy being a little bit dwindled, and even a few of them, like 2 of them were ecos, the one round in the middle was actually pretty close. Like, as I said, there was a moment or two where it could have gone either way. So you have to feel a little bit bad for ATK in this scenario that they're now only 2 rounds to the good. But as I said, that is what makes a world beater a world beater. They're very difficult to put down. And this man has been. He should be flanked from Floppy. I mean, we'll get that kill. OC needs to connect a shot here, really. A 4v4 after plant is still going to be tough. It's not like when they had the pistols in play anymore. And just look at the amount of damage that's been done also. That smoke doesn't really allow them to cross. I wonder now, actually, could T's go back? Like, I don't know if it'd be something in the back of their mind, but there's only one man on A. They probably know that they forced at least a couple of rotations. It's just whether it's worth the risk.
A stalemate right now, as no one wants to make the first mistake. Keeping themselves in position, holding on until they know what call to make into the round here. Frozen. Molotov goes out, ignites the right side of ramp, flashes the left side. This does give Floppy the information. Karrigan will get the first kill as Molten goes down, but Woxic trades it straight back onto Floppy. Here comes OC. Oh, he can't see it from the round though, as Woxic has done so much damage with that Kalashnikov, and it all falls onto Sonic for the clutch. They know his position over by the decon door. The flashbang will bait out the peak from Chris J, spamming away with the Krieg. Makes it look easy as he gets that kill.
That was world class from Woxic.
That was like, really nice.
The 2 shots that he hit there are ones that I would hope for one maybe in a whole match, maybe in a week. Like that was just awesome. And it made things so difficult because if he misses one of those, then he's in the open and probably goes down. Also, one of them's onto an AWP as well, so good job from Woxic. He's now started to rise to the occasion. We've seen Karrigan step up. We've seen Rop step up massively. And they've now got 6 rounds on the board on the T side. This is starting to look like a very good half. Pistols have not really been a problem at all for mousesports once they've got into this. And what started very strongly, the momentum seemed to be great from the CT side. The second mousesports get into the match, we're now back to reality.
Bomb has been planted.
It was a nice bit of bliss for the first few rounds. They were probably riding that high for as long as they possibly could. Now, they do realize, as you said, the harsh reality of the situation. As it's about to go 7-7, and mousesports are going to be gunning for that 1 round advantage at the end of this first half here. ATK, how much they're going to struggle as well moving over to that T side. Obviously, the CT half, it looked good at first, but that started to dwindle. The fire they had has gone out. And that T side needs so much momentum. It's going to be quite hard here on Nuke. And it's mousesports and CT as well. So you dare step outside, you best be ready for Woxic to break your neck.
Well, that's the problem as well, I think, with mousesports in the past. Is like, say for example, you look at any iteration of mousesports train.
Yeah.
They were phenomenal on the CT side, not so good on the T side. Now, obviously, that's something that's changed. I think that Karrigan has slowly implemented improvements into their T side, which is why he's such a valuable member of this team, and someone I think they were lucky to pick up. But the fact that they then can just go back and go, oh yeah, of course we're still sick on the CT side, it just makes things so worrying. Like, they're one of those teams that when you have this much star power, it's very difficult to find a place to go. And that's exactly what's happening at the moment. Like, pick by pick, we're seeing player by player just come to life in this server. They're winning every single duel, all the fights that were... Notice how ATK haven't changed much. They've been trying to do basically the same things. They've been getting aggressive, and it just hasn't been so successful. Floppy is unreal, by the way, in case you didn't know that. 16 and 10, 2 pinging headshots, drops a couple of players outside, and at the same time, there's now been the call from the T's. Okay, let's just take B.
3-on-3. Bomb's going down. They've got control of the bomb site, but are they ready for the SAS bombardment that's about to come their way? As they're going to be breaking through the doors, hoping to retake this site. Rops armed with his trusty AWP. 2 Kriegs in play for Karrigan and Chris J. And the last of their utility being expunged out as the Molotov gets cast across. They've still got a flashbang. OC instantly eliminated, but but it's coming down to Floppy. The man you mentioned, he's the one doing the damage. However, once he's shattered down, can JT still clutch it out? It's a 1v2. He swings wide. It requires one bullet from Chris J to end his life and end the half at an 8-7 advantage for mousesports. We'll see how this one's going to go in the second half after the break. I think that was one of the ducks there making a little bit of a quacking noise. Was that you, Tom?
No.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. It looks like we're back, though. We're ready to carry on with the action here as mousesports currently with a one-round advantage at the end of the first half. Now move over to the CT side. ATK, if you are just joining us, they had a great start, but then they ground to a massive halt.
Yeah, it was, what, 6-0, 7-1? Mm-hmm. And ended 8-7. Now, there was a part of me for a moment where I was like, you know, the whole, he's starting to believe, like that.
This could be it.
And then it all went wrong. So we'll see what they can do on the T side, the tougher of the two. Nice hold on the rotations back, and Frozen is only going to get one. In fact, there may only be one kill. Rups with everything to do. He is a bit of a pistol king, but, well, he didn't see OC. It's going to be 8-8. Two fat ladies, evening up. And we're now going to have, well, what will probably be an investment, yeah. CT side going to purchase things. Wow, that was very in-depth. I think the lights really are starting to get to me.
Purchase things.
They're going to buy things, you know?
They're having a bit of a purchase round here.
I'm getting ready for my weekend job, which is actually of selling vegetables at a market.
Oh, yeah. Come on, come on, come
Got
on.
apples and pears, apples and pears.
50p for a Mark 10, a pound for an AK. Take your pick, please. Thank you very much. Oh, Carrigan. He is not happy with these deals, Tom. He does not want none of your market-based produce, as he is going to start popping off.
He likes to import his goods.
He's not a fan of this locally sourced goods.
To be fair, works well with his team as well. But we are going to see whether or not they can actually make this retake work. Don't have a kit. They don't have any utility, so just trying to fight from above. Sonic is homed in on the angle, looks away at the wrong time, but he still manages to get a kill. Woxic will find one back. Carrigan has caught up another. Sonic with so many players to check. He just tries to spray everything at once. And the defusal is going to be picked up. Take a little bit of extra time, but isn't going to be a problem. And mousesports, they win that force buy. They set themselves up nicely. The T side have a bit of a dilemma because realistically, with only 2 players surviving, you want to force. But you're so close to getting a buy in the next round anyway, that I think an eco is a better decision.
Well, they're going to pump all their money back into it, as they do completely invest. They've got deals, they've got CZs, they've got 1 Mac 10 in play for JT, but they've got so much utility. So let's see what they're actually going to get up to with it here going into round 18. JT's the only man right now going towards outside. OC's there, but he's trailing behind at a snail's pace. He does have the bombs. He doesn't really want to lose that. It looks like there is a man going up on top of Silo. I think that might be bottom.
Yeah, I think this is where they will probably struggle. Like, dealing with Woxic on outside,
Oh, yeah.
so difficult. Frozen as well is going to know that there's a man just waiting around the door. So not going to opt to go down the vents just yet. They've already got ROPs around if they do need to switch up. But we have seen a cross come in. So it's JT. He's taken a hell of a lot of damage as he's managed to get that portion of the map. But it still looks like this is at least going to be an attempt into main. Like, they could realistically obviously just rush down ramp and try and utilize that spot. But I think they're going to try and use Mini, section off Frozen, and they get themselves onto the A side. But that's a lot easier said than done. 45 seconds left. Still a little bit of utility available. Frozen. Timing hit perfectly. Makes his way through. Instantly connects onto the second. Well, that was as clean as you like. Yeah. I'm like, it's very easy now in hindsight to go, see, they should have saved. But I do think that realistically, like, going up against a team as individually skilled as mousesports,
Yeah.
when you come in with just pistols, you have to do something special. And I understand that obviously being such an underdog, you can go, okay, let's try and break them here so we have more of a chance. Instead, all you've really done is just handed over an extra bulk of cash to the CT side. Now you come in with an eco. This is going to be so tough for them. And well, I think this is going to be some stat padding. Carrigan is going to fall, but that doesn't really matter, does it? Frozen, he really has come to life in this second half already. 13-10. He had a very quiet first half. It was around the same we see Chris J at the moment. But luckily for him, we saw Woxic and Rops. And actually Carrigan as well, like, performing to a high standard. 11-8. I know it's early, but again, unless we start seeing that first, like, 8 rounds ATK, I do not see a way that they come back from this.
If there was going to be an opportunity to actually show it, this would be the spotlight on them now, though, going into round 20 here. They've actually got firepower to play with. We said how awkward
10 seconds.
it was going to be going towards outside with Woxic there. Decimates. The first man even dares to step into his territory. He was furious about it. Lashed out.
That was literally within 10 seconds.
Yep. That's basically the round already, Tom.
God.
That is the round now. OC done for. As Chris J's popping off with an M4. And it's all down to Motum and Floppy. Well, just Motum now. Floppy, he's probably quite floppy, as he's just a dead body.
They haven't done a point of damage yet. Oh my god. This is what I mean, though. This is where, pound for pound, mousesports are just not going to be beaten. And they had a slow start. I do want to give props. Like, that's the thing. I think the second you get into this sort of territory where you go, okay, this is probably over, you take away from what ATK did manage to do at the start. Like, they used the momentum well, they were confident, they were taking aggressive battles, and they did a good job. It was just that mousesports, they managed to grind out a few like close rounds, which gave them a way back in. That was when their economy started to roll, they started to get money, they started to get the AWP. Now onto the CT side, a similar thing. They get an early force buy win, they then shut down the next round. Now they have everything they need. That's where I just don't think ATK stand a chance. Like, they're just too good.
Yeah, this is over. When you start getting into a position like this, where Woxic is the man you're going up against, he is just going to crush you at every given opportunity when you're trying to fight for outside control. Already hitting some lovely shots. Chris J will come through with a frag on towards Motum as well. This will be the 13th round because it's only Sonic that remains with 14 HP. Lucky to even be alive at this point. Carrigan looks to try and knock him off his feet, which he will. That's that round confirmed now, set in stone. And mousesports, they looked shaky at the opener. It seemed like they were quite quiet. It took so long for everyone to start finding frags. It was only really Robs that was getting the odd kills here and there. Woxic that had one spectacular round. Everyone else is very hit and miss. As soon as we've got onto this T side, they're living it large. Right now, it just looks like they're living their movie, Tom.
Yeah, and I think as well for many, like especially like younger teams or newer teams, I think is a better term. The T side of Nuke is still going to be tough.
Yeah.
Like it's tough for most teams, but that was the thing that mousesports managed to grind out. It took them time, which at least shows that for the CT side of ATK, there's definitely something there. And against maybe slightly less tough opposition, they would have stood a chance. But I always expected going onto the CT side, even said it, that I just think mousesports are just going to be too much for them to handle. And so far, so good. Like, 3 players over 10k, the other 2 are 6k and above. It's going to take a miracle at this point. And you can see that, like, risky plays being made. They do actually make their way through down the vent. And that's an important play early on. So JT has gained quite a bit of map control. He can hold off rotations. They're going to challenge onto ramp because of that. They do still have to get past Rops and, well, now just Woxic. They get that kill. They get a decent entry. This strategy is looking good for them. Woxic tries to wait in the Molotov, but all it really means is he's now desperately low. Chris J is low and Frozen is low. So it's this man on your screens right now who's going to have to do the bulk of the work, and Motum puts him to the deck. This should be ATK's first round on the board. Well, buy round, I should say. They did win the pistol. Frozen though, hey, that's not bad. Gets in, finds the kill, and OC's now the only healthy player on the other side. Maybe there's a chance they still take this, and that really will be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, this could be the icing on the cake for them right here. Smoke's going down to try and shroud their entry over towards the bomb. OC has a Molotov, but I don't think that's going to land on it. Did it actually pop in the right place? It might have done, as they haven't been able to commit to this. They've had to back off. Sprinting out of there. ATK will get another round. Luckily, they snatch away a 9th. mousesports go on to save the weapons they have available. 2 AKs, 1 AWP. They're not going to risk losing them. There was no point. There was no time. Finally, ATK do get around, though. This is huge for momentum. It's huge to try and put them back in the right mindset, but they've already lost a lot of that chance. I mean, what, 13 rounds on the board here for mousesports. They're pretty close to closing it down, Tom, and it's worrying because every other round has been so dominant that is this just a blip?
Well, yeah, let's put it this way. Since the 6-0 scoreline, obviously it's been 13-3. So it has been very dominant. It's just that those initial 6 rounds pump up the scoreline a little bit. It does mean that they're in with more of a chance to bring it back. I like that they're taking a tactical pause. That round, very successful. Like, they get the player down the vents, they then opt to go ramp to just utilize that and have that cutoff point. So, good round. I like it from ATK. There's always things I wonder, though. Like, are you going to be able to get that pick on Rops every single time? Are you going to be able to get rid of Woxic and that AWP, or section him away at least? That's going to be a little bit tougher. So, we'll get to see. Also, getting down the vent can be fairly difficult as well. Like, there's a few players I've seen that are quite good at it. This time, after the tactical pause, it's going to be a very aggressive play out from JT. Doesn't actually spot anything just yet, and he's got to be careful because Frozen is the man on the other side, and as said, he's had a big step up over the last few. Carrigan also in the corner. I think they might have even expected this to be an aggressive round in this direction.
Carrigan, he gets first contact, he spams out wildly with the AWP, he will get a frag. Frozen aiding him very well as, Motum! The backstab comes through, he eliminates Woxic, spams across, but it will not matter. Chris J, better at shooting through smokes there. That's the kill. Found by Robs in the end, and 14-9 now. They need 2 more rounds to lock down the game and win it here with our final best of one of the night on Nuke.
Yeah, this is one of those matches where, as said, I think ATK are truly going to struggle. And they got off to a flying start, but since then they've been very, very absent. The buy that they've got, not ideal, and if they lose this one, sure, they still have some loss bonus to play with, but other than that, it's going to be fairly bare bones. They haven't really been able to deal with Woxic other than the wraparound in the last round, and that was in a 1 versus 4, so it didn't really mean anything. Vent drop again, though, and this worked for them very well last time. This time it's going to be a little bit different. Gap in the smoke that they have to get past, and yeah, that small detail that's almost given Chris J 2 kills. Sonic does manage to catch out Frozen. Obviously, Frozen not realizing that somebody got into the vents, and I imagine now that will have been transferred to his remaining teammates. Rops trying to hold down the bottom, but he also gets traded.
How many times have we seen him in this scenario, though? Down on the B bomb site, the 2 versus 3 where they're outnumbered. No chance to get the bomb down. Caught his pants around his ankles there. As OC will fall. JT, he's got 1 frag. He's gone for the Bogdan play, as he's found an AWP to wield. But to what proficiency can he use it? 1 versus 2. Suspecting a player towards the ramp as he scopes in. Unfortunately, Chris J is on the opposite side. They have no reason to peek as well. They don't have to overstep the mark. The bomb is down. All they have to do is hold their angles and wait for that clock to tick down.
Counter-terrorists win.
Comfortable in the end. There seem to be a few glimmers of hope there. I think if the smoke didn't have a massive gap in it, or, well, massive relatively speaking, massive for Chris J.
Yeah.
If you give that much space to him, he's going to utilize it well. Then I think there's opportunities there, because they got the vent drop with a bit of a surprise, and they managed to kill off Frozen on the rotation. It's just that after that point, they were so low and had already lost enough numbers that, well, you could see a player difference there, an extra player, could have won them the map, or won them the round, I should say. As said, no bomb plant, so money's not going to be ideal. Mac 10, yeah, they've struggled to get past that man pretty much throughout the CT half. Just going to go barreling in towards this side. Carrigan, he's been fantastic, and they're spinning around trying to find where he is, but it is over. Carrigan shuts it down. It ends up being a 16-9, and although it was a great start from ATK, after we saw mousesports get onto the board, everything changed. Like, I do have to say that in that mix, there were a few close rounds that maybe if ATK takes 1 or 2 of them, we get either a closer map or a different story, but I think they needed a lot more on that CT side if they were really going to be able